against this guy, but if I ever played against Jerry, those daisies are coming right out.
Yeah, sure. And you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Jerry knows that you're going to do that too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Which then you're like, okay, maybe I keep him in because he's not going to play.
Let's play a little game of one-upsmanship. How about that? As we're going to cut to our next one, Jim Davis versus Trevor Humphreys, Goblins versus Esper Stoneblade.
Yeah, no surprise.
I didn't set this up.
No surprise there, Jim Davis. Been playing Goblins a long time. He has an invitational top 8 with it.
He has a Grand Prix top 8 with this deck as well.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And he knows his way around a red little monster there.
You know, I talked with Jim quite a bit leading into SCG Seattle, where I got ninth place with Goblins there, and we kind of compared lists. I had taken a much different approach with Warren Instigators and some other cards middle of last year to some success, and I kind of wanted to see why Jim was doing what he was doing, and you know, it's like two professors, me and Jim talking about Goblins. But I was actually pretty nice. I learned a lot from him and his approach, and you know, I've basically adopted his list with some very subtle changes. And one thing, Jim is very, very comfortable playing Goblins. He works with Max Teeds, who has won 2. Max Teeds actually won an Invitational and has won, I believe, 2 opens, Legacy Opens with Goblins. Certainly one, because I commentated on one at the Atlanta Invitational Legacy Open. But he's very comfortable playing with Goblins and in this matchup. As you see, it looks like he's on a mulligan down to 5 here on the draw. And he's staring at a hand of a Aether Vial and a couple lands.
A couple of sweet lands. I would say that Goblins is one of the decks that mulligans the best, just because its guys are pretty cheap. It's got cards like Aether Vial to use as like repeatable like dark rituals, and then it has the best card advantage available in Legacy, besides maybe Intuition AK with Sapphire Medallion, but in the form of like Matron for Ringleader and just fuel up. So mulligan for 5, not actually as bad for Goblins as it may be for something else. And here on the other side we see Trevor Humphreys with the old standby Esper Stoneblade, Stoneforge Mystic based Esper deck with Jaces and some equipment and Snapcasters and plows and counters and some discard and lingering souls.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's been doing its thing for a long time now.
Yep, and seems just about every iteration of Legacy, the deck just gets better and better. Like there was already sort of this blue-white or Esper control deck, and then Stoneforge Mystic was printed and it was awesome. And then the deck was already really good, and then Snapcaster Moods was printed and made it way better. And then like people started playing Lingering Souls, and that was another like revolutionary thing. There's like every set that comes out, it's just like, yep, Esper Stoneblade has more awesome tools.
So you're gonna see Stoneforge Mystic search up an Umezawa's Cheat, and Batterskull's already in the hand for Humphrey, so he's got both of his pieces of equipment. Aether Vial's ticking up. Davis draws a Goblin Matron. He does not have a third land for this game, so he's just going to pass the turn back with a handful of red creatures. And you know, I was going to mention his Wasteland play this game, where his opening hand was Wasteland and Rishadenport, and the fact that I was not a very big fan of his Wasteland on turn 1, and the reason being is because when you're on mulligan to 5, this is a deck that's very it's very mana hungry.
Yeah.
And you also have Rishadenport in your hand. You want to be activating that. If he plays Vial on 1, Vial right now would be up to 3, not 2.
Yeah.
And you can actually start putting things into play. Now, Stoneforge Mystic would actually be out here a turn earlier. Stuff like that is you're going to see Batterskull come into play, but he could be Rishadenporting Jim.
Yeah, if you just take the turn off, then you get the same effect as the Wasteland without having to spend the land, without having to sacrifice the land in the form of port. So, definitely an interesting choice there. He's obviously just afraid of the Mystic coming down. He's like, I'm on 5 cards, on the draw, you know, I'm pretty low percentage to win in this spot. Maybe I can mana screw him, maybe if he... if I can keep him off with Stoneforge for another turn, maybe I'll be able to, you know, draw a red land and be able to sort of like Violent Mogg War Marshal and pile, or what's the card? The Killy Cycly Goblin.
Gem Palm Incinerator.
Yeah, Incinerator it before, you know, it gets active. Formulate some sort of sequence where he doesn't just die to Stoneforge Mystic, but it doesn't seem like that was that worked out for him here, as he did miss that land drop. Batterskull did come down, and I have to assume Umezawa's Jitte is coming next. And
yeah, that one's probably going to come to play in just a moment.
That's kind of the nail in the coffin. It's just like, Batterskull is pretty good and pretty hard to beat, but you know, you can create a bunch of chump blockers and sort of, or like, what's the bouncy goblin? I don't know the name of these goblins.
I noticed, because you keep calling him Bouncy Guy and Killy.
Yeah.
Sting Scourger.
Sting Scourger, thank you. You know, you can Sting Scourger the Germ and, you know, trumpet a bunch with Mogg War Marshals, etc. But once Umezawa's Jite comes down, then it's sort of lights out.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, Umezawa Shite is difficult to beat. Davis has two Tin Street Hooligans in his deck to be able to deal with equipment. He's pretty long way away from casting in this game because Violating the Wind doesn't do anything. You actually need the green mana off of the enhanced cost to be able to take care of it, as you're going to see a double block here on the Stoneforge Mystic. You know, the reason I don't like the Wasteland play most of all, however, is just because Aether Vial is what's going to take you home.
Yeah.
When you're on this mulligan, Aether Vial is your actual way to cast your spells. So, you know, that's the only thing that I really disagree with here. Like, I understand the Wasteland is with good intentions. You know, maybe get a little bit lucky, but at the same time, you're playing against a Brainstorm deck here.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really gonna get them.
Yeah. You know, like, what hand do you think that he kept that you're like wasting his first land is just going to be game over?
Yeah.
You know?
You know, that's the one thing here. As we see we saw a double blocking the Stoneforge Mystic, and I guess I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic should be in the
I
graveyard
think that
here.
should be dead. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty okay. They got it.
And he did name Ringleader, and it does hit the bin. A couple of Matrons here. So if Trevor Humphreys has like any other creature to flashback the Cabal Therapy, he can actually just shut the door right now.
Just completely ruin Jim's hand. Put him on having to top deck like
And
crazy. And
there it
there's a
is.
Snapcaster Mage. There's a flashback on that Cabal Therapy. Sacrifice a creature, gonna name Goblin Matron. Those are gonna go bye-bye. So you see Mogg War Marshal and Gem Palm Incinerator. That's it.
That's gonna be a rough, a bit of a motley crew to sort of pull a win together here somehow.
Davis draws a Wasteland. You see Trevor Humphreys' hand of Vendilion Click and Umezawa's Jite, so he's got a very, very nice hand right now. And I mean, that Wasteland, I would think just kind of goes down, and you just want to keep it in play again, because I think you want to assemble lands. You know,
What is the point of this with the port in play?
yeah, I just don't understand. Like, if you have port, you probably just want to use port, and like, you're not
It's like
being,
the same effect.
You're not being you're not being given a good reason to use Wasteland yet.
Yeah. So Mogg War Marshal flashing in, the War Marshal proper will be chumping, I assume, and that is what happens. 3 tokens now in play for Jim, so theoretically if he gets another creature in play, he can, you know, quadruple block and throw away his entire board to deal with a Germ token. That is an option available to him, but